Peace, everybody. What's going on with you? What's good? What's good? Greetings, greetings. Hey, what's up with you? What's up with you? Greetings. What's good? What's good? What's good? Hey, what's up? Peace, fam. What's up with you? Waiting for a little bit more people to get up in here. You know what I'm talking about? So, anyway. I hope y'all all, will that y'all all commanding your day, you know what I'm talking about? We gonna get it in, you know. So, anyway, today we're gonna talk about, you know, underworld rise of the Lycans. You know, which probably was my favorite one out of this series. You know, I didn't, you know, but that was a cool one. You know, at least the coolest one out of all of them. But it's amazing how I watched this and I got so many dang on notes. Like 3 pages of notes. And it didn't make no sense. You know, like, man, I didn't expect to get all these dang on notes. Hey, peace, Deidre. How you doing? So anyway, you know what I'm talking about. That's what we're gonna get into today, you know. As you know, as we continue the strong or start off the strong, you know, commanding the day, you know what I'm talking about. So we're gonna get all that out the way, you know what I'm talking about. Get the hell out the way, you know what I'm talking about. So anyway, I'm gonna get it going. So at the start of the movie, right, we learned that 20 years has passed since basically, you know, both Lycans and vampires are found, basically created, right? And what was interesting at the beginning of the movie is that they peace, Sister Monster. No problem. Oh, I didn't know what to share, man. You know, I was just actually speaking on your IG live. I was just inspired when you was talking about faith and whatnot, you know, and actually I didn't know how to share, but it was just inspiring just to hear you talk, you know. Oh, we just getting started, you know. I was Peace Chief. I was, you know, playing my dang on my second line and listening to them engines, you know. But but yeah. You know, hey, I be having the notes ready, you know. But it's for me, it's always about being in the space, you know, to really get it going. You know what I'm talking about? Peace, spoil riding. What's up with you? You know, but Chief, I'm glad you called it too. So we gonna get it going. You know what I'm talking about? Before I, get on my daggone Louisiana grind, listen to all this daggone music. But yeah, so one thing that I took from the beginning is, they talked about Lucian actually like he was the magic Negro, or Messiah, and how they talked about for sure. Oh, I did. It's just I did in general, but and how the narrator talks about the Lycans as being a vicious and infectious breed. It's like, who says that? But it sounds like something we know, right? Sound like something we didn't heard before. And so in the start of the movie, you see, his mother, who's full Lycan, has already given birth to Lucian, and he's, in human form, as a baby. Victor kills off his mother, and he looks at Lucian like he's about to kill him too with the crossbow. And then he's like, nah, this is interesting. So he trains, Lucian up. And, in one part, he's on the, I guess you say veranda with his daughter, right? And he says, shall we make more? Like Lycans are, like a factory you can, just up and make, which, like I say, message, sound like something we've heard before. Or sound like something we know, what I'm talking about. And it's like with Lycans, or at least the ones that can change from human to Lycan, it's like they're the hybrid of a hybrid. As the pure form is probably the ones that can change. They're the hybrid of that, So basically, if you've seen like evolution, how they call Marcus a hybrid, you could say that, technically, Lucian and them are a hybrid of the hybrid, which is weird, but yeah, that's what I took from that. And Lucian in this movie, he's a blacksmith, and I don't have to tell you what a blacksmith symbolizes, but yeah. And but he seemed like he got that yes, chief. Yes, I wasn't gonna say it, peace, brother Zach. I wasn't gonna say it because we don't lie. But yes, that factory sound like something we know. But so Lucian is a blacksmith, and a rider comes back from patrol, and is chased by feral. I'll just say feral Lycans, and Lucian kills him with the crossbow, and we see that it's a woman, and Victor comes out, and he asks Lucian, doesn't burden you to kill your own kind? And then Lucian says they're mindless beasts. Again, something we know. So we know about. I'm probably gonna be saying that a lot. And then what does Victor says something that we've probably all heard for more than one generation in our lives is, you are a credit to your race. And he says, do you know how to remain so? Because he's eyeing Sonya, the female lead. And actually, I found her name interesting, especially how it was spelled, Sonja. And then I just, wrote it down as Sonya. So, I like I said, I found that very interesting, just by the name alone. even though I've seen, Sonya being spelled with that, I just never broke it down like that before. But that's how I broke it down as Sonya, So anyway, basically, during the movie, Victor tries to groom Sonya for politics. She likes to fight and go out and kill Lycans and whatnot, but she's not considered a death dealer. She's a member of the council. So he tries to groom her. Bug. Exactly. Black cop. Yep. Yes, Lucian is the black cop all day. Spot on. You know what I'm talking about. He is the black cop all day, So, but she don't really want to do it. And what was interesting, as Lucian gets rid of the Lycan body, he burns it. And the body returns back to its human form. And what came to my mind was a part in Lord of the Rings where Gandalf is reading about the ring, and he says a secret only fire can tell. So for me, it was like, the only way you would know that this person was probably was a human again is if you burnt their bodies. It's like a secret only fire can tell, because they can't revert back to human form. But that's what I took from it. So you can see that these Lycans, who are slaves in this keep, this mountainous keep that's desolate. It don't have no farms or anything. It's just a mountain keep. They'll work from sun up to sundown. Like, look, I'm gonna be saying that more than once. Sound like something we know, don't it? And one thing you can see about this is that you don't see no Lycan women. You don't see no Lycan women around here at all. Besides Lucian's mother, and she was killed. So that basically tells you something right there. But there's a council meeting, and one of the council members suggests, they having problems with, the feral Lycans, Williams kind, and the council members like, we need some help, so why don't we get, the Lycans to help us out? Let's make a privileged Lycan cast, maybe, and perhaps we'll make some death dealers out of them. Why don't we start with your paid, Lucian? You know what I'm talking about? He suggests this to Victor, and again, sounds like something we know. And what I thought about was when I read the autobiography of Malcolm X, and he was talking about living in Boston with his sister, and he was talking about the privileged class in Boston. The black privileged cast in Boston, they were bellhops and maids. You know what I'm saying? The buffer class. They were seen as rich because they was able to work downtown basically, or work in the city, or work for rich white folks. But that was considered the privilege. Shoot, if you could get a job downtown, you were somebody, I guess. You know what I'm talking about. You were somebody to be respected. At least that's what I took from it. And but Victor's like, nah, man, nah, we ain't doing that. So, but then we see, Lucian and Sonya, tiptoeing off into a secret, part of the hold, or fortress. And we find out they're in love, and Lucian wants to run away. He wants to run away, and he wants to take Sonya with him, but Sonya don't want to run away. And one thing he says is that, we are both children of Corvinus, but my family is enslaved, you know. And sometimes that reminds me of this slogan that they used to have, for abolitionists, at least for black abolitionists, is ain't I a man and ain't I a brother? Am I a man or am I a brother? It goes on something like that. You see a black man with in chains, and it's an old drawing, but I thought about that. Yeah, the proximity to the master made them more important in the Lord. Yeah, yeah, that's true, Chi. That's true. If you was able to get to the big house, you was somebody. You get your new duds. Every winter, you got yourself some extra special duds. You probably got your duds from the dang on mistress or master himself, because he didn't want to wear them no more. Well, we ain't gonna talk about that. We ain't gonna talk about that. But yeah. These two are seen by a character we see in Underworld Evolution, Andreas Tanis. He's still basically the historian for the vampires, but you actually get to see him in his official role before he's exiled and whatnot. And he knows about Sonya and Lucian, and it seems like he's trying to get with Sonya, and because he talks to Victor about it, like she don't really like me, and I'm trying, but that's what it seems like, that he's the intended for Sonya, but we know it ain't gonna work out. Yeah, filler. we gonna talk about filler. You know what I'm saying? But we know. I'm too old and it's too cold. But okay, so at this point in time, the human nobles are coming to visit the fortress, right? And one caravan, you could say, gets ambushed, by Lycans, feral Lycans. And here we see, they have, slaves running behind caravan, or horse cart or whatever, and we finally get to see Rage. Rage, which is played by Kevin Graveau, as I said, the creator of Underworld and many other things, Blue Marvel and whatnot, big solid brother. But the caravan is ambush, and one thing you see is Rage. He fight off these Lycans with his bare hands. Doing what brothers do. Going toe to toe and standing his own ground. He's scared. And the Dev Dealers come out, which Sonya is a part of, because like Lucian's like, let somebody else go, because he had a bad feeling, because he know they got something planned. And but she goes out with him anyway, because she's a strong woman. And we see that, interesting, these wolves can burrow through the ground, and that's how they trap Sonya. But Lucian goes out and basically saves them, and he takes off his collar with the key that he has. He made this key, and he's not supposed to, but he does it anyway to save his beloved Sonya. And he yells at the where roars or growls at the feral Lycans, and they back off. They back off. Then Victor comes. Lucian gets punished. Yes, Lucian is whipped, and as we know, the whip is symbol, a symbol of the law. So he's whipped with the law of the vampires. You could say law of the covenant or whatever, and he's given 30 lashes. And Victor, he does what most masters do, and it's like, was I not merciful? Didn't I do this for you? Save your life or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Acting like, you ungrateful. Didn't I do this for you? Boy, didn't I give you them dang on? Didn't I give you extra pig rations? This Sunday? Didn't I let you go to church Sunday? Something we know, like I say, and he's carted off to his cell, and Ray's gives him water, and him and Ray's become friends. That's how they become friends, while Ray's is still human, and he tells Ray's that the werewolves are the purebloods, basically. That's why I say the human Lycans are the hybrid of the hybrid, where they probably see the werewolves or the feral Lycans as the purebloods, and they are not, which it is what it is. But the human nobles, gather together to pay tribute, but they're having problems because the mines in one province, or you can say, is always being attacked by these Lycans. And so Victor's like, well, I think half of the rights to the mines, we'll pay for, dealing with them like they some dang on gangsters. You know what I'm saying? Sound like something we know, to protect your property, give us a piece, and we'll serve that for you. And the human was like, hold up, you having problems here? They at your doorstep, so why should I be paying you for this, and you can't even keep them in line at your own fort or whatever? Lo and behold, he talks about it to Victor, but Victor ends up killing him, and we cut to Lucian giving a speech on, like, we ain't animals, we can be humans, or we can be Lycans, that famous part, if you ever seen the dang on trailer. And so we also see that Sonya is given the key medallion that opens up William's prison. She's given that as a child, Victor is like showing it as an act of love, and like, I love you so much and whatnot. And he gives her the medallion. She don't know what it is for. She don't know what it's for, but it's her medallion. And then we have Andreas talking to Sonya about consorting with a Lycan. And again, it sounds like something we know, but we just don't say Lycan. We say something else. But we ain't gonna talk about that. One movie we can refer to is Mandingo. Let's just leave it at that. But yeah. But Sonya and Lucian plan to escape, and one thing we see is that the person that whipped Lucian, is killed, and the dropping of the whip, was, I guess that scene was very interesting, because as I saw that, I was like, the dropping of the whip symbolized probably the dropping of the law of the covenant and whatnot. And Lucian and a few other fresh turned Lycans escape, and they recruit human serfs off of human nobles' lands, like, like he's Spartacus. Spartacus did the same thing, with the Roman slaves and whatnot. And he's basically building himself an army, or a resistance force. And Lucian goes to the werewolf lair, and you can't talk to him, but I guess they understand he's trying to get more allies. But all of a sudden, as all of this is going on, Lucian's building a resistance. Victor finds out, that Sonya and Lucian, been together, and he does this by, tasting her blood. So he finds out the truth, because she's been, hey, what's up with your woe? But anyway, he finds out the truth, and through the blood, and he's like, you've been effing this Lycan, what I'm saying? All this time you've been lying to me, but he locks her up. Or he basically sets a trap for Lucian. Lucian finds out, and he goes back for Sonya. But even the Lycans that's with him was like, man, that's a trap, man. Don't do it, And Lucian tries to make the the excuse that she's the reason why we escaped. You know what I'm saying? Whatever. But lo and behold, he goes back to the keep. Him and Sonya get trapped, and then the only way to stop Sonya and Victor fight, and Sonya stops Victor by saying she's pregnant for the sake of your grandchild. No, stop, whatever. But it shocks the hell out of Victor. Interesting evolution. Yes. That is true, Sister Deidre. It was interesting, but Sonya is put on trial for high treason, because they ain't getting away. And once again, Lucian is whipped with the law. Whipping scenes are big in this movie, it seems like. So he's whipped with the law, which I thought about. It is, this gonna be weird or crazy, but I was like, you know what? Victor did nothing wrong in the grand scheme of things. If you think about it, he did nothing wrong. I mean, according to vampire law, she should be tried for high treason. She is consorting with a Lycan, and she's being judged by their law. So basically, Victor did nothing wrong. You always see, some hashtag or, some character and be like, they did nothing wrong, but it just seems like, no, Victor did nothing wrong in this sense. You know what I'm saying? This is somebody that's being judged by the culture that she was brought up in and reared in. And not only that, she's a council member. So, I mean, you can't really, you can't really, judge the person, with feelings and be like, that's wrong. You can't do that. Like, yeah, we can't, because this is our culture. And this also affects the survival of the species. We ain't gonna say race. We're just gonna say species. Because we know what that means. But that's what it seems like this is saying. But, sounds like something, Dr. Francis Cress Wilson tried to tell us, you know what I'm talking about? To the island. I would say so. Brother Zach. I would say so. You being with the law of the island. Yeah, I would say so. So, Sonya is, condemned to death. She's judged Unanimous decision, death. And death by sunlight. She dies by the sun. You know. Well, Chief just said the lichen is the ultimate symbol of convertness, the beast that lies beneath the surface sort of motif. There is flexibility with the lichen, fairness with the vamps. It's all about justice, unbending. Yeah, I agree. I agree with that. But she dies by sunlight, which basically sends Lucian. Well, pisses him off, and he turns into a lichen and tries to escape. But they pierce pierce part of his body with crossbow arrows. Well, bolts. We're just gonna say bolts. And but he roars, and he calls the feral lichens to the keep. And as that's happening, the human lichens see it, and then they come to the keep. So everybody's storming the lichens are storming the fortress. And then we see Victor and Lucian fight, and one thing that Victor tells Lucian is, "You defile my daughter." Lucian's like, "I loved her, but you did, this was, fornication, and you did not have consent. So yeah, if you go by that, yes, you did. There's no ifs, ands, or buts, when it comes to the law like that. If you really did. Sounds like something that happens a lot. Daughters are defiled, because hard-headedness, just like in this story, But yeah, so Lucian wins the fight, but he stabs Victor in the mouth with this long sword. But before he does, Victor says, "I should have killed you, when you were born." He was like, "Yeah, you should have, but you didn't." Peace, sister. Peace, sister Queer. Good seeing you. But we see that the Lycans win, but Victor's not dead. He just falls into the water, but we know he's not dead. So, and basically, that's the end of the movie. Ray says, hey, they on victory or whatever, and they like, Ray says, Lucian is finished. He's like, nah, this is just the beginning. And then that's basically the end of the movie, because we cut to, Victor being on the ship and, going into his coffin or whatever, along with, Marcus and Amelia, who was already in their coffins. But the idea you mentioned in the beginning with Sonia as Sanya is interesting, based on the Sanskrit meaning. Sanya means the void or zero. There is a reference to the void as the duat or underworld. Yes, Chief. Yes. That's just how I thought of it. It just dawned on me, I guess, hang around with you, hang around with you, listening to you. I just like Sonia. Oh, light clicked off. And please, brother Mari. Because I've always liked the name, because one of my earliest memories as a kid was watching the movie Red Sonja. So I've always liked the name. So, but I never put two and two. Now I put two and two together and got both. But one thing we could take for, well, at least what my thought for this movie was, or at least something that it was trying to teach was, is it right or for two people to mix bloodlines without the consent of the community? Was it ego, selfishness, or or whatever? Because as you can see, here's two bloodlines, even though they come from the same progenitor, they don't like each other. They're it's vinegar and oil, vinegar and oil. And there's just so much bad blood. And how it was like, well, how can you love someone whose father killed your mama and probably killed your daddy too? So it's like this is really dysfunctional. You know what I'm saying? And it sounds like Lucian's crazy. He's insane. He's got to be out of his mind. Like somebody tried to teach us. Shout out to the elder Amos Williams. You got to be out your mind. Because think about it. He literally has to be out of his mind to be trying to get with Sonya after all this bad blood, knowing what he is. But then is it right? Is it wrong? I don't. It's something that you just go along for the ride and yeah, G, Red Sonya. And then you had Ernie Reyes Jr. as a little kid, Come on, Falcon. Yeah, come on, Falcon. That little kid. He was cool, But yeah, But I just thought about it as a philosophical aspect. Was it right? Was it wrong? These two bloodlines really don't like each other. And here's somebody, here are two people making a choice for both that both communities didn't consent to. So what should have really happened? Was it right to kill Sonya? No. Was it not right to kill Sonya? Just going along for the ride and just asking these questions, for, just, I don't know, for the philosophical aspect of it, just to question, just sometimes you just want to question things. So yeah, I thought about that, because then, you see again, throughout the series, the mixing of bloodlines with a continuous mixture of the bloodline, and then you get Michael, what I'm saying, which is the hybrid of the hybrid of the hybrid, what I'm saying? It's just, but then as you go further off, you see, you go further off the true path of what maybe the creator intended for you to be. We talked about mixing up bloodlines yesterday, and the Lycan is a madman. Lucian would have not been logical. In Greece, a Lycan was also a man who would run through the streets biting people. They were lunatics. See, exactly. They're crazy. They're lunatics. Same lunatics. Anyway, but yeah, we talked about missing the bloodlines yesterday, and one thing that I thought about is I was reading the apocrypha, well, the Book of Tobit and the apocrypha, and Tobit, was dropping his jewels on his son, before he sets out, on this journey to get some money, but not getting that money, what I'm talking about. He there to collect some money, and he tells his son, marry a woman of your own bloodline, and then he says, remember, he instills this pride in his son. Now, remember, we are of the bloodline of Naphtali. We are of the tribe of Naphtali. We have the blood of the prophets in us. I was like, man, that just stuck out for me, because usually, I ain't read the Bible that much, but I'll be honest, I went past a certain book and then that was it. But I did read more of the Psalms. I did read more than Psalms, but yeah. Um, it was interesting to hear, a tribe different from, like the probably Levi or Judah or things like that, and say, no, we are Naphtali, we got the blood of prophets, man. I mean, we don't marry just any old, I thought that was cool, But this is, it's a lesson, what you have to deal with, and so with dysfunctional families and certain cultural aspects that mix together, but they don't really get along, I guess. But yeah, man, I this is my favorite one out of all of them, and I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it watching it again. You know what I'm talking about? And I think you know, even with these type of movies, man, there's lessons if collect the dots to connect the dots. You know what I'm talking about? That's what you gotta do. You gotta collect the dots to connect the dots. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay. I seen, like, I wasn't tell Sister Basha. I did see cuties. But that's probably an in-house conversation. It's not bad. It's not bad, but I did have a bunch of WTF moments, like for real. I look, it was I had too many dago moments, like more than I would a horror movie. It was just too much. But that's in-house, we ain't gonna talk about it, but yeah, man, but even in that movie, it's a cautionary tale of, just like Rise of the Lycans, it's a cautionary tale of cause and effect. You do this is going to happen. You know what I'm saying? So you got to be careful. You know what I'm talking about? Luna. Yeah. Would you agree that is indicative of the spirit of the moon as it relates to a disorder, psyche, and or emotional body? Let me think. You agree that is indicative of the spirit of the moon as it relates to a disordered psyche or an emotional body? Some things, when people ask questions like Brother Mari just did, you gotta go through it in your mind and give it a minute. Because some people just talk off the mouth. And that's how you get took, because people just spout any old nonsense. I cannot say that the moon is this. The spirit of the moon is this disordered, or has or it's related to the spirit of the moon being disordered, or having this disordered psyche, or emotional body. Because one thing that's coming through my head is, the moon is in order. It's in its own natural order. But I can't say. I could be wrong. I would say, depending on the light one is reflecting, like the moon reflects light, one can take on an alien culture or not accept one and be considered a lunatic. Yep. Because what you just said, brother, that goes back to, what Dr. Amos Wilson tried to try to tell the people, you taking on, this foreign culture, or trying to get, this dominant society to love you. You got to be out your mind. You got to be crazy. You got to be a lunatic. you know. So when I heard that, I was like, we're all psychos, but you have to be out your mind. So yeah, I can feel that. I can feel that. Lunatic was considered a result in a person from sleep deprivation because the light of the moon would disrupt sleep patterns. Didn't know that, but that makes perfect sense. It was said to cause fits and epilepsy. Some folks were thought to have difficulty assimilating moonlight as they did sunlight. Interesting, because as you talk about epilepsy, one person that comes to mind that had epilepsy is Julius Caesar. Caesar had epilepsy. And, what? Is it really considered a curse of Apollo? I don't, ain't my culture, but yeah, he had epilepsy. So yeah, you can say he was a lunatic. And given a thought about it, want to be emperor of Rome, you probably got to be crazy. But yeah. So, culture is culture, community and culture, go hand in hand. And here you see in this movie, one thing I wished I seen was what the Lycans really thought, because in my mind I was like, I know, you come here. I wish one of them could talk and be like, well, oh, Lucian, you effing vamps, bro. I can smell it on you, bro. Yeah, that ain't that ain't no liking female said, bro. That's So that's what you're doing. That's what you're doing in the keep. But you want our help. But that could have been interesting to see. One that couldn't turn back to human, but he could speak. You know what I'm saying? And be like, oh, you want our help, huh? Man, I could smell it on you. How we gonna come to terms with that, bro? I mean, these people, these vamps, they kill us. And here you are, asking for our help to what? Save your chick? How'd they help us out? That would have been cool. Oh, peace, brother Antonio. Well, peace, pretty Tony. You know what I'm talking about. You ain't no pimp. You're rest haven files. That's where it comes from, brother Antonio. If you don't know, I keep on calling you Pretty Tony because I think of the back. I really think of the back in that scene. $35 per seven. Motherfucker, can you buy that? You ain't no pimp. You're a rest haven for hoes. You're a car thief. So if you ever see that scene, you know why I call you that. That was one of the scenes, people used to talk about when I was a kid. They used to act out that scene all the time. But they do it in their own special way. You know what I'm talking about? We ain't gonna talk about pimp movies. We ain't gonna talk about pimp movies. Yes, I'm yes. This dilemma is yes. It's interesting because I mean, you see the vampire side, but you don't see the Lycan side because apparently they can't speak. But I mean, I would have liked that part because, as well as seeing, okay, the Lycans get grand victory. What do they do with it? You know what I'm saying? The only real P in that movie, because Goldie was not a P at all. Yes. Yeah. Once I understood, yes, once I understood that whole scene, yes. Yes, he was not a P at all. He like you say, he was a car thief. You know what I'm saying? You ain't no pimp, man. You ain't really getting down with the pimping. You breastfeeding these hoes. No, we supposed to be good. We supposed to be good. We're not doing that. There's people around. There's people around. Yeah, check out the movie, bro. I mean, the movie was good. I mean, the movie was good. It had Richard Pryor in it, and then it had Goldie's mother. I never knew the woman's name, but I know she played in Imitation of Life, and I loved her in Imitation of Life. Loved her. Yes, I know a lot of movies because I watched a lot of old movies. So yeah, Imitation of Life was good, man. With Lana Turner and Sarah Jane. But yeah, it even with that movie, you can say Imitation of Life is sort of we there we go again. We talking about mixing, and Imitation of Life shows you what happens when a little girl has that dilemma. Can't believe I'm actually talking about it. But yeah, that shows you that. And then they run from it, you know what I'm saying, or whatever, Goldie wasn't even yeah, he was emotional and accepted the one female without a fee. Not a part of the game at all. Yes, because look at the pretty much at the beginning of the movie, she be like, "Man, you don't need to do this. You can learn the game from me." I'm like, "How the hell you can learn the game from her? She ain't no." We ain't gonna talk about it. How you gonna talk about it? You know what I'm talking about? You on the track. You a mare in the stable. You ain't the owner. What the fuck? Oh, well, will it corrupt your young mind? I don't know. I've seen so many I've seen so many dang on pet movies. I don't know. Did it corrupt my young mind? I mean, maybe. I think that was the movie. I think for me it's probably America Pimp or Pimps Up, Hoes Down. Because watching that and then seeing people in the document, that's we ain't gonna talk about that. That's letting out some secrets. But yeah, back to Underworld. Yeah, Victor was interesting. Because we condemn. I say we condemn the villain or the protagonist with our feelings, not with logic or reasoning. You know what I'm saying? I guess because like we do the same thing. Because I was wearing the hood and I was thinking about it. We do the same thing with the self. You know what I'm talking about? We condemn the self because they're bad, or they do something else with the force, not understanding that they just found out something new to it or whatever, and something that works for them. You know what I'm saying? But because you gotta love the Jedi. You gotta love the Jedi or whatever. You gotta condemn the self. I remember, she talking about the self, man. One thing, if you get into it, you realize that the self was a race. It wasn't. It wasn't. It was. It was a species, but it wasn't. It wasn't just a gang of humans. They were actually a race, and they were called the Sith. And then it's when the Dark Jedi meet the Sith, and then they become. Same thing with the Mandalorian. The Mandalorian was a race, was a species, and then yeah. See, yeah, that's in the meditate like self. But then you learn that, they were actually a race. And then they learned, um, dark arts of the Force. The Dark Jedi learned these dark arts of the Force from the Sith. Sounds like something we know, huh? Somebody trying to steal, sacred knowledge, but they don't, they don't complete it, they only take, what they can decipher, but they don't get the whole, the whole thing. They just piece of the pie, But yeah, shout out to George G.M. James for giving me that history, But yeah, man. I will that we gonna wrap it up before we start rambling some more. And it's really, talk about we already talked about pimp movies and and whatnot. We do not need to go there. That's it house. We can talk about that all we want to. But yeah. So but how would you care? How would you care? Likened to a werewolf. Well, for me, a werewolf is to me, it's something that can actually turn into a wolf. It's not a hybrid. It's just you can turn into a wolf. It's like Twilight. Jacob could turn into, Jacob and his people could turn into wolves. So to me, that's werewolf. Lycan. You're not you're a hybrid. You're man and wolf, but you're a hybrid. You can't turn into an actual wolf. So you're basically. I didn't even get through the film. I did get true, Chief. I did get through the film, the whole film. I mean, the film was only like an hour and 35 minutes. What all could I take? What all could I take from it? I mean, if we ride, I mean, I know you ain't side seat driving, but I know you got some insights that I don't. But that's what I took from it. You know what I'm talking about? I mean, what else can we take from this dang on film? Let's see. Like I say, I wish you can see what it's like to see rule under Lycans. They always underground on I already talked about the execution of Sawyer. Did you hear it? She's tried, she tries to plead her case, saying that she saved, the coven many times over, but they was like, man, you consort with a Lycan, consort with a Lycan. You know what I'm saying? And your behavior is not befitting of a council member, How do you see the idea that the Lycan could transform voluntarily and the werewolf as a slave to the moon? Well, I see the idea as, is he really a slave to the moon? Or is the werewolf just obeying its nature? I'll say it like that. I mean, is it a natural obedience to to the to the um to the moon at that particular time, because he doesn't, a werewolf doesn't turn, anytime the moon is out. It's just when the full moon is out. So is that abeyance to natural law of the moon? Oh, I rushed the end because I mean it's it's pretty self-explanatory. It's like I would say that by the werewolf being a slave to his emotions, he can't um or at least in this retrospect, he can't ascend to get himself out of that state or out of the werewolf state. Like you had the feral Lycans. They were pretty much a slave to their emotions or a slave to their rage and anger, that they couldn't rise above going back to human form. Which is their emotions. It's sort of like being okay. It's sort of like being a red lantern, which their energy is based off of rage and anger. But they can never get out of that. They harness their anger. Yeah. Okay, Chief. Get my get my gears working. This is why you make the big bucks. I'm talking about. But yeah, by them being, I guess, okay, by them being angered probably of how they died, because if you look at underworld evolution, William could basically resurrect the dead, in the sense that he'll kill a human, and then they'll be reborn as a Lycan. So can one say that, because of regret of dying the way that they did, or having, not completed slaying dragons in their life, or whatever, that rage inside them to, it, or that pin of rage stops them from becoming human again? I can see that. You know what I'm talking about? Lycans were giant wolves, and werewolves are regular sized wolves that walk on two legs. Yeah. I don't know if I'm on fries. Right now I'm washing lettuce. See, I'm washing lettuce right now. I'm just washing lettuce. Making sure you get all the dirt out and whatnot. I'm enjoy playing in the water, washing lettuce right now. You know what I'm talking about? I don't know if I want to be on fries yet. Grease hurts. It pops you. But yeah, Lycans were giant wolves, and werewolves are regular sized wolves that walk on two legs. Yeah, two hind legs, you can say. And which just got me thinking, why was I thinking of those Roman soldiers that used to wear the hide, well, the head hide of a wolf? I was like, man, maybe they trying to embody a werewolf. Now I think about it. But yeah, so it makes sense that the moon does affect other beings of varying species. Yeah, I would say so. I mean, the moon has many different faces, many different levels to it. If you think about it, just by how it changes. So, I mean, it can affect certain species in different ways. Whereas the werewolf are killed by Silver. Yes, because in the movie, well, at least in the first movie, you see that Silver doesn't kill, Lucian and Reyes. They can push it out, and regenerate. Through their regeneration, they can push out bullets. And even silver bullets. It's in having these silver nitrate rounds and injecting the silver into the bloodstream, which is interesting, to where they can't push it out because it's in their blood. It kills them. You know what I'm saying? Or taking too many silver rounds to the chest can do the same thing, because you can't, the body can regenerate. The body can regenerate and pushing out all that silver out of you. Because of Romulus and Remus at the Romans. Yeah, the Roman was love. Yeah, I would say I totally agree, but I just thought about it when you was talking about werewolves and being on two legs. It just came to my mind like, so that's what that probably meant. As I said, we going along for the ride, ride around talking about werewolves and Lycans and the moon and whatnot, and seeing what we find along the way. So, but that's what I think of when, being in that lower nature of anger and rage, so much like a berserker, so much like a berserker, you can't get out of that state. You know what I'm saying? Whereas, with berserkers, you need drugs to get in that state. The pent up anger or the pent up rage that's so high, you all you see is red. You know what I'm talking about? All you see is, anger and rage, that you don't get up out that state so you can get back into your human form. I didn't see that. But yeah, I did think about that. I didn't want to say it, but I was like, yeah, that is making me think of menses. I thought about it, but I didn't put two or two together. But this is why you have more than one person in the car with you, and with different personalities. You never know what you come up with, or what you find, or what you hear, or anything like that. This is why teamwork makes the dream work. You know what I'm talking about? Some people will make you see certain things you never thought about, because like I said, with that whole Sunya name, I never thought about it until it just dawned on me, like, or whatever. Or thinking about different phases of the moon and how that could affect, a species. I never thought about it before. Now you make me want to watch more animal documentaries. We never talk about, animal documentaries and night phases. You sometimes you see them, but okay. Silver equals emotion. So you're saying Lycans can separate their emotion from their agenda, flesh. So it has to be put into the blood spirit. Yes, I will say that. And the reason, because if you can do that, that's the only way. It's the only way we can kill them. Put it into their spirit, and be done with it. Well, that's the point, to be authentic and to really think about it, because I'll be the first one to say I don't know it all. I don't know everything. That's one thing you learn we've been talking about philosophy. That's one thing you learn in philosophy is to admit that you do not know it all. That's the first step to wisdom. Is to admit that you don't know everything. So I don't know everything. Some people know more than me, you know. And I guess that's learning humility to say that you don't know it all. You know, I may be low to scholars. I don't know it all now. There's some people that know more than me. You know, there's some people that comes up with things that I wouldn't even think of. You know what I'm saying? You know, some people are along the path, you know, more than I am. You know, but yeah, and that's the thing, to always be authentic and true to thy own self. Be true, but yeah, to be authentic. You know, you don't got to put on airs for everybody and whatnot, and act like, you know, if you don't know, you don't know. You know, you don't know, you don't know. And that's it's okay to say that, you know, I don't know. I don't know everything, you know, but let's go for the ride together and see what we come up with, you know. Let's see what shells we can find, right, brother Anwar? You know, you never know what you're gonna find. You know, for sure. You know, you never know what you're gonna find along the path, you know, or along the path of discovery, you know, especially just by watching a movie, you know. Yeah. Like I say, you never know, you know, because a movie I'm excited to talk about is Red Cliff. Man, you know, just the man, I love. Maybe because you know, it's nostalgic. Just leading up to it, you know, when you didn't, you know, watch so much, you know, or whatever, you can get into it, you know, be like, man, did you see this? Did you see that? You know what that? It goes above and beyond sometimes. Yeah, small things can bring the most value. Hmm. Do they? Dang. Yeah, pretty much. They doing yeah. Yeah, I can see it. Yeah, that's what I thought of. He went to, yeah, but hmm, can you say? I would say that with Celine. I wouldn't say that about Lucian, brother Antonio, only for the simple fact Lucian knew that he was going to go to them. You know, it wasn't like I don't know what to do. It's like I'm gonna get us a big army. You know what I'm saying? I see that, you know, they got some, you know, they can listen to me because everybody pointed it out. They listen to you, you know, they listen to you. So why not, you know, go to the but with Celine, yeah, she was at her with saying she didn't know what to do, so she calls on Victor. And we know this by the mirror scene. You know, that you could say that, like I say, you could say that was a ritual. She writes out his name and then, you know, does that. You know, whereas Lucian, he goes to them, but when you think about it, because they couldn't speak, because the Lycans couldn't speak, you can say that. You can say that he went to the ancestral realm because they couldn't speak. They can look at him, they growl at him, but they couldn't speak to him. So yeah, you could say that. You could say he went to the. Yep, you can see how that works. Why didn't all the vampires drop dead after Celine killed Marcus? Actually, I don't know. I can't say. I don't know. That ouch. That's true. Marcus was running game on him. He wasn't the end all be all. And if he wasn't the end all be all, then William wasn't the end all be all. You know. Just by him, I mean, you see that in now you do see that in other vampires movie where you kill this vampire, that's the method they do. But yeah, you know. But I mean, if you think about it, I don't see how Marcus can be the end all be all when you have so many, different vampires making, other vampires, like Victor, for example, you know. And that's to say, Celine kills Victor, which is her progenitor, and she don't turn back to no damn. She don't turn back to a human. I I feel like symbiont circle. What goes for one can go for another. In that same space. So, ergo, if Marcus dies, that means Victor and the original the elder vampires will turn back to. So that means that if Victor dies, Celine will turn back to a human. That doesn't happen. So yeah, he was running the game on him. Yeah. Well, I took William having white or gray fur the same way you would look at a silverback. You know what I'm talking about? He was just at that stage, yeah, he was willing to put to the test. He was found wanting. But yeah, I would take it probably like a silverback gorilla. He was just at that stage or whatever, where he had gray fur, or that's just his own transformation, maybe, in that sense, So yeah, because you don't see that with any of them. All of them have black fur. All of them are melanated in that sense. But maybe that's a symbol of his stature, of who he is. I mean, or where he is in his own, on his level. You know what I'm talking about. So yeah, So I thought that was interesting too. But also, like I say, the setting was in, you can tell, Eastern Europe, but I mean, just by the clothes, even with Rise of the Lycans, you can say, man, we ain't in the West, we are in the East. And you can see how the whole setting for this movie is dark. It's not a lot of sun. Bunch of mountains and dark forces that seem like had no life to them. You know what I'm saying? Because if you think about it, like Lucian goes to where the Lycans are, where the feral Lycans are, and they're in the woods, but the trees have no life. They don't even have no leaves on them. So they're in a dead space. Damn, they're in a dead space. Interesting. Dead space. And but it's a bunch of them. It's like, now that I think about it, it's like, you come to you come to, you come to a place in the spiritual realm and you see all these, people, on a pew, and they look at you. But that ain't your place. You just went to, look around or whatever, you know. Can there be a connection? I mean, in that scene for me, yeah. But you know what? It is the underworld, and you are dealing with a canine entity. You can say that's Cerebus right there. You're dealing with the Cerebus energy. You know what I'm saying? Where they can't rise up to be above ground again to where they can be in human form. Maybe. I mean. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree with you, Brother Mar. You know what I'm talking about? Whereas, um, like I said, it's called Underworld. When we think of Underworld, well, in this, or for this movie, since it played on it so much, you think of Underworld, Hades, Cerebus, yeah, you know. Well, look who you dealing. Well, look who we dealing with. You know what I'm talking about. Even their eyes were blue. Ice blue, cold to the touch, pale. Didn't age, which was weird. Usually vampires don't age. If you've seen as many vampires movies, they don't age. Like an interview with, like interviewing the vampire. Kirsten Dunst, was made a vampire as a little kid. She could not turn into an adult ever. She was stuck in that state, which made her mad or whatever. But whereas being born one, it seems like you're able to go through an aging process, and probably that aging process stops. Interesting enough. I just thought about that because Sonia is a child vamp and she grows up, which you would think that in that state it will stop. Yeah, the subconscious, deep deep unconscious in the mind, and how that you have in that subconscious mind you have an icy figure that never ages that feeds on melanin, and the other one is mad and in such a rage it can't turn human ever again. All dealing with the subconscious of their minds. Yeah, I can see it. She could have been that, if it's, but then again, that's something that will have to be explained, because if it's already been 20 years and she looks about 6 or 7, it 20 years have passed. Given a, it could have been. Yes, he was. He was turned on his deathbed. Didn't say if they turned his daughter as well at that same time. That's one thing you can take from it, because you don't know. You know what I'm saying? They leave that out, but you can suspect. If one thing you don't see is his daughter at his deathbed, but then again, or a wife for that matter. Oh, peace, sister. What's up with you? What's good with you? What happened to her? Did he have a wife? He had a daughter. So where was she at? Was she not turned? We don't talk about we don't talk about a lot of things. You just looking and observing the movie. You don't see that. I think Victor was a lord. He was no king. You know what I'm saying? I think he was a minor lord or whatever. Can't say he was a king. But I would say he probably was probably like Alexander Corvinus. He probably was a warlord, of some small fief or fiefdom, or whatever. Maybe. I can't say that. Because they keep on reiterating that fact that that's his daughter. not his play daughter like Celine is, but his daughter. Whereas, we know that he treats Celine as like a daughter, but that's not his daughter. But we know that that's his daughter, because the shame of him, they bring that up. Man, you killed your own daughter, but yeah, he was large enough to have his own army. Yeah, I agree with that. Well, some lords had large armies, during that time. Look at, well, we take it to the West. You look at some provinces or some some lords had big armies. And even the king, even kings were scared of him. Like, man, that motherfucker got a big army. That's all they do is conscript troops and whatnot. But yeah, Marcus needed an army, and he needed somebody to give it to him. But they don't say if he's a king or not. But we know that he's important enough to have an army, and he's important enough to have money. But then again, you don't see what's Amelia's role in it. Man, you're like, as I talk about this, besides Sonia, and Celine, there are a lot of women that take a lot of, you don't know what part they play. Like, Amelia's an elder, but you don't see what part she plays. You don't see it in this movie, which, I get that she's asleep, but her contribution is just non-existent. She's just there. She's go about that. She's there to be clipped, Well, Rome is good. I have the I have both. Well, I have the DVDs. I have to look for them, but it's cool. Rome was cool. I think Rome had probably at least the best feminine political fights that you could probably see in a Western series, at least, in a sense. Everybody want to talk about Cersei and, cute Queen of Thorns and whatnot, but they don't really get into it. But with what's her name? Lucilla? I can't remember. I see. I will have to watch it again. But you see them get into it more than one time, and she gets into it with more than one woman. She even gets into it with Octavian's wife. You know what I'm saying? She, and she's like, look, I'm a bet at this. I done lay low some shit. You know what I'm talking about? You small potatoes. But it's an interesting series. Yeah, that's it. You just see her, go on a raid in the beginning of the movie, and then that's it. It's like, what else did you do? What's your part to play? You know what I'm saying? I mean, it is what it is, But that would have been interesting. But you gotta look at what you're dealing with, or who made this movie, and how do they view women, even their own women. I mean, that's one thing you gotta take from. At least that's from Commander today. You have to ask those questions, and I ask those questions. You know what I'm talking about? What are the messages here? And as you see, this is what I take from it. Think about who made this movie, what did they make it for? Why did they make it? What's the message? What's the hidden message? You have to ask that with a lot of movies. You know what I'm saying? That's why certain movies I just can't watch because or I have watched and it's like, man, don't you see the the underlying fact of or this or that or, it's like everybody's just wild by Lovecraft country. Now, me being from Chicago, you know what I'm talking about. One thing say, look, black people was just not in the South Side, and at that time, if you have old folks that know, they were in one part of the city, and not only that, there were white people on the South Side. Man, I mean, come, there were white neighborhoods you couldn't go to. Give you an example. When Martin Luther King did that march in Chicago, that was a South Side neighborhood. That was a South Side white neighborhood before we turned back. But that was a South Side white neighborhood, and as you can see, they didn't play. And I remember my dad saying, "You don't go here." At that time, you didn't go here. That's why I was, it was probably crazy to us. Like, why would he? No, we don't even go there. But that was one South Side neighborhood you did not go to at that time. You know what I'm talking about? But you don't see the underlying psychological aspects of it. Like, everybody screwed up in that dang on TV series. Everybody is screwed up. Oh, you smart, history, or this, or you read a lot of books, but you're this, or you're that, or you got so many. You just gotta, like I say, yeah. See, yeah, till it ain't for you. You know what I'm saying? But you question everything, everything. Everything ain't just a movie. Everything ain't just a TV show. The Nazi showed you that. Everything ain't a TV show. Everything ain't a movie. Everything ain't just moving pictures. You know what I'm talking about? That there's certain things you can get and come out with and shoot that people don't see. Or people don't want to see. Let's just be like that. Yeah, you gotta have it. You gotta have, looking at it with your first eye. With anything, you never know what you see. What you'll come up with. You know what I'm saying? Like, Chief was talking about promises, and I was thinking about a song because it's corny. It's corny. I was thinking about Joseph and Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoats, and the song Donny Osmond sings, "Close Every Door," and the hook, children of Israel are never alone, because we know I'm not about to say, but and at the end he says, "For we have been he's already telling you the promise. You know what I'm talking about? He's already telling, we've been promised the land of our own. Even though I'm in jail, I know you can do all this, but I know I ain't by myself. I am a child of Israel, and I'm not by myself. And I've been promised I'm gonna get mine. I may not see it, but I'm gonna get it. We gonna get it because it was promised. You see that, but yeah, that stuck out for me. That's funny though. You be like, did you just make a musical reference? Yes, I did. Yes, I did watch. Yes, I did watch Joseph and the Major Technicolor Dreamcoats. I didn't see it. I did see it downtown at the theater district. I was too young, but when I was old enough, I did see it. It was, exactly. But you can take, you can go somewhere with it, I guess, or whatever, and see what you're seeing. Yeah. Snapshot, right? See the embarrassing moments, Did you how did you just you've seen a musical before? Yes, I've seen a musical before. You know what I'm saying? Click. Click, sing a musical. Yes, I've seen old movies, past 1970. Yes. With like she was talking about that dang on Alien movie, and he was talking about Diana Meach, and I was like, I know him. I knew exactly who he was talking about. Loved him in Heaven Can't Wait. Which is an interesting movie if you think about it, because this guy in that movie, it's an old movie, but he goes to hell, goes to the devil, and he say, oh, I'm supposed to be here. Don't you got me on the list? He'd be like, well, let me tell you my story. It's a cool, thinking back on it, it's a cool little movie though. No, I do not be going to the theater, cuz. First, I ain't cuz, but I do not be going to the theater. But I have seen a musical or two on VHS. I've never been to a musical before. That's might be something I have to do one day. But yeah, that's another movie. Like he's like, man, let me tell you my story. But it's a cool little jab, like, oh, I'm supposed to be here. I know I ain't supposed to be up there. He just, what? Yes, VHS. I have, I ain't worried about it. I'm to most people, I'm still a kid. So if I remember VHS, that ain't bad. But yeah, like I say, it's just interesting that somebody, who's dead, just ups and voluntarily goes to hell. Like, yeah, I'm supposed to be here. Oh, let me tell you what I did. But he he talks to the devil, like, like, let me tell you my story. Let me tell you what I did all my life. I did this, I did that, and then, it was a cool little movie. It was cool. Donna Meacham was a cool actor. You know what I'm talking about. You see these actors at the old stages of their life, and you see, but back in their time, they was in some big movies, man. Some big movies, at least at the height of their day, Yeah, he was self-aware. He was like, man, I'm supposed to be here. How many people really gonna do that? Some people like, no, I ain't going there. How many people got enough humility, courage, or character to say, yes, I deserve to be in hell. Yeah, I'm here to, make my check in. You know what I'm talking about? I'm here to check in. You know, you already got me on the list. I don't know if it's VIP or not, but you know, am I VIP? Do I, I don't know some crazy things about life, but that just goes to show that's that self-awareness, that character, because everybody want to go there. Don't nobody want to go there. It's like Chief, you saying past archives. We always want to go up there. We don't want to go down there where Doodle and them. So yeah, bro. Like, but that cool little movie, man. Cool little movie. Can't remember who else played in it. I want to say Virginia Mayo. Some old people. Old people you probably never heard of. But yeah, I would know. Of course I would know. So yeah, I think we got the gears turning. Chief had asked no more questions. So I don't have to my shift is over, I guess. I can sneak out. You know what I'm talking about? But this is like always, man. It was fun, you know what I'm saying? Getting into it and just revisiting things. And even with the reviewing the movies and whatnot, it's all a journey. That's all we doing. Going on a journey, fact finding, investigating, observing, which you can do every day, man. I say that. Sometimes I go walking and I look at trees. Sometimes it comes to my head, what Chief say, trees are, don't grow in a straight line. And I look, oh, interesting. Look at that one. Just look around, observe, see something new every day, and with this, you see something new in movies that you probably never seen before. We ain't reviewing the base level of anything, we you gotta dig deeper and see what comes out, see what jumps out at you, you know what I'm talking about. And this, like always, it's been a pleasure. It's been a pleasure. And I will that all of y'all have a great start and to the strong, and you're perfectly perfecting, as Brother Cruz would say. Yeah, well, that wasn't one of my favorites. What was one of my favorites as a teenager? Me, honestly, my favorite was Dago Kama Sutra. That was my favorite movie as a teenager. Was it as a teenager? No, I was 12, so I was a preteen. I was not supposed to be watching that movie. But if you, hey man, that movie there, that's for the grown folks. When I saw Chief put that in his documentary, shout out to all whores go to heaven. When I saw he put that in there, I was like, oh man, I love that movie. I probably love it for the wrong reasons. That's why I need to go to the temple. But yeah, because it was cool to see a mature Indian film. And Mira Nair, the director of it, she did mature Indian films, or Indian-based films. Love Mississippi Masala. Denzel Washington, of course, I love it because they had Mississippi. But yeah, But yeah, I was a teen. I was, like I said, this is what I was doing in my teen years, watching old movies that I thought were cool. Watching old movies, maybe, because it was something I could talk to, the old folks with, because they didn't see it, they didn't live through it. So yeah, that's what I was doing, watching AMC a lot. AMC before it had commercials. You could watch the whole movie like you would HBO, and then commercials happen afterwards. Now, AMC have commercials and whatnot. Brother Antonio, I still watch my movies, man. But I grow, I expand outward, when it comes to it, and I watch international mob movies. You know what I'm talking about? From Chinese, Chinese mob movies to Korean mob movies to Japanese mob movies, even the Indian mob movies. You know what I'm talking about? I take it to the E zone with it because it be interesting, man. I mean, it go a lot deeper. I mean, man, if you want to watch some good international movies, I mean, they international mob movies, man, they out there, man. They is out there, bro. Like it gets deep, yeah, bro. I mean, bro, Pretty Tony, that's how I got started, man. Was, like I say, I was in the library, that got me into nonfiction was mythology and crime. Crime, looking up, gangsters, looking up gangs and whatnot. Looking at certain things, and we ain't gonna talk about that. But yeah, man, there's probably a reason why guys love. Well, I think the reason is probably the freedom and the authority, but we like kung fu. Well, martial art films and gangster movies. And if shoot, there are gangster movies. There are gangster movies I would recommend, bro, to you. Like, let's see. Okay. A New World is a Korean gangster movie, and it's about this undercover cop who is like a captain of it, a captain of his own crew. You know what I'm saying? And his whole what he's going through and whatnot. And I love the ending. I love the ending to it because, man, I love that ending. Bro, I've seen Ray. Oh, Sister Detroit. I've seen Ray. Ray is good. I like Ray. Well, I like Ray because you see more. Well, you see people, that got some melanin in it. You know what I'm talking about? And the fight scenes. Like the ambush scene, when they get into the project, homies, and they just wait for them, and it's in the dark, and it's like, man, you in the wrong building. It's like, man, we gonna fuck you. And that's what they do. You got the snipers, you got the dago, and they, you got the dudes with the machete. You just, man, you trying to raid the wrong building, bro. It's like homies trying to raid the Carter, but don't know what's in the Carter. You know what I'm saying? There's some fucking demons in the Carter. You know what I'm talking about? Exactly. Exactly. But exactly. There's some things in the Carter, in the building you do not want to mess with. And y'all got the nerve to come in there. Not with an army, just with a squad. You know what I'm talking about? Just with a squad. And think you gonna come out alive? You don't know. You don't know. Just to get one guy. But he got a whole building. You know what I'm talking about? That was a good movie. And Ray 2, that was good too. You know what I'm talking about? Like I say, man, like I used to have an argument with a lieutenant when I was in the army, and I told him, because he was from Boston. And he used to big up the Departed all the time. And I'd be like, man, Infernal Affairs is better than The Party. Because Infernal Affairs is the party. I used to like, like, man, you don't know. Because that's the truth. Infernal Affairs, if you ever seen it, it's a Chinese movie. It's the Departed, but it's not Martin Scorsese, but it's the Departed. It's blatant, You can't shape it. Only thing is you don't have Jack Nicholson and you don't have Leo and them and Matt Damon and it's in Boston, But other than that, I used to get into it with him all the time about that. Because he used to, always bigging up Boston and whatnot. I'd be like, man, whatever. You don't know movies like I know. But yeah, there's a lot of gangster flicks, man. You could watch, and I mean, are just interesting. Like I never thought I'd watch Indian gangster flicks. You know what I'm talking about? But they be good. They be good when they're not doing no videos. If it's serious, gritty and dark, bruh. They be good. They be good. And shoot, it be on another level because you see basically the cultural philosophy of another culture when it comes to doing crime or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Or how they view it, or how their organization that they created view it. Yakuza, triads, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Depending on which one depending on which one you watch. Like, here's one. If you watch Once Upon a Time in Mumbai, it's good. But they do have some song numbers, but it's not purely, it's not fully, fully Bollywood out. But some people are gonna be singing. You're gonna hear some songs, but it was cool. It was good. You got IJ, and he, solid. Melanated, bro, and he running stuff, and he trying to do some things, and then you got the but yeah, man, the Platform. That's probably a movie I never seen before. I never heard of it. Never heard of the movie. See, going on the ride and shoot, I'm gonna have to watch that, bro. For sure. I'm gonna have to check that out. Oh, okay. Yeah, I've been watching my Netflix for other stuff. I wish if it wasn't so long, I wish I can get into Resurrection Ertugrul, because that shows the start of the Ottoman Empire. But if you got 5 seasons and each season is like 90 to 100 episodes, I ain't watching that shit. I'm not. I do one season with that with a chat, with an Asian show, but it's like no. If you consistently doing this, like, man, no, I ain't doing that. But the Platform, yeah, I have to check that out, bro, because I ain't never heard of it. That should be good. Like, you can check out, okay, Shootout, because it's on Netflix. Shootout at Lackawanna L word. L word. Yeah, see, One Piece. I ain't watching that. Like, One Piece looks good. Like, I followed it for half a season, and then I was like, that's too long. But if you see Shootout at Lock or something, it's an Indian film, but it's based off real events, about the shootout that happens. But it's a gangster flick, and it's a cop flick at the same time. But it was cool. It's old, but I mean, not too old, but I mean, but it's old. You get to see some people in now. But yeah, man, that was cool. But you you get to see some interesting stuff from different cultures. Ooh, or one gangster movie you can see is Race. That's on. I'm pronouncing it wrong. I know I am, but it's Raees. It's Shah Rukh Khan, which is a good actor, good Indian actor, and he plays a Muslim gangster, an Indian Muslim gangster, and you see it start, his beginning and end. It was cool. It was cool. It's cool to see Shah Rukh Khan, in a more serious role, and he ain't always singing all the time, but but he gets the girls. So he's cool because he's an older gentleman. He getting into the beer gang. You know what I'm talking about, and he look good for his age. You know what I'm talking about. He age fine. And shoot, he can still pull. If you ask me, he can still pull. Some motherfuckers can't. Like Denzel. Denzel can still pull. Will can still pull if he ain't, about them entanglements. But yeah. So, all right, probably 2 hours. Okay. We don't need no more. So thank you. Thanks everybody. Good thanks. And I appreciate y'all listening to me and whatnot. Going along for the ride, going along for the journey. And what's the next film? The next film, like I said, I want to do Red Cliff, but just because it's I'm excited to talk about it. I would love to talk about it. I would say that. But I wanted to be natural, So whatever, what's in me to talk about, that's gonna be the next film, But like I say, I wanted to be Red Cliff because that's what I'm really excited. I really want to talk about. But we gonna do it natural. And we gonna do it authentic. You know what I'm saying? We gonna be official. We gonna be authentic. You know what I'm talking about? But yeah, don't judge me all you want. I don't care. Yeah, sometimes I'm like that. But give thanks to everybody, and command the day, and thanks for the journey. And I'll see y'all later. Peace.